if you know me, you know that I'm always good for revolution. So the next slide is probably related to that. So if you go back to the first slide, I got a working title that I had to use, Alternative for Data Spaces, but I found that a little boring. So on the next slide is the actual title that I think should be on the front. But so, facts, an alternative approach for exchanging trusted and sensitive assets with across data spaces within or across data spaces in privacy preserving way without managing the data.
That's what we did.
Let me read that back.
Definitely better.
So alternative approach to what we have heard before for exchanging trusted and sensitive assets within or across data spaces in a privacy preserving way, so GDPR compliant way, without managing the data itself. All clear now, right?
You make it all work with your eyes closed.
Click please, whoever drives. Okay. So instead of doing an online demo, so someone told me, don't do an online demo because people don't know what this is. It's revolution, but we don't know about it. So I will go with the old-fashioned way of producing a demo with static slides. But at the end, Joanne is going to show you live what this is all about, or a portion. Okay, so key concepts, in fact. You have three roles in the system. You have a holder, an issuer, and a verifier. Holder is the user that is acting. It could be a person, it could be another process, it could be whatever, but that's the active entity in the system. Then there is an issuer who basically is the data owner, the data producer. So someone who produces data is the data owner, is the issuer of certificates that are issued to holders. And with those certificates, the holders can do things on services, for example, processes or whatever, and they have the role verifier. So they verify that you are in possession of a particular certificate, then you can do things. So holder is the active, issuer is the one that generates all the sensitive assets or whatever, and the verifier is a service or an external company like a insurance company. They say, oh, it happened? Why? How is that possible? Prove to me that you have a certificate that you are actually allowed to use this data. And then you go like, okay, here it is, right? So verifier could be whatever. But in the proof of concept, it's a service, any service. Click. So that brings me to the three components of facts. Immutable catalog, trusted services, and agile certification. So immutable catalog is a catalog on the blockchain where these issuers, these data producers, upload metadata. That is a statement that I produced this data, provenance. I did it. Here is the metadata, and it's immutable because on the blockchain, so you cannot modify that afterwards. So it is a statement, it's a legal statement that I did that. So now people go to the immutable catalog and find assets, and then they want to use them with trusted services, for example. Trusted services generate data, they process data, they basically verify the user's certificates. So if you don't have a certificate for this particular service to have that particular asset processed, go away, right? So, and then there is agile certification, which is the glory of the beast. So, in fact, a user does not get access to a service or cannot use an asset because of their authentication and credentials moving around the system. It is you have a certificate from an asset issuer that gives you the right to do something with that asset. So the agile certification is the thing that works, that gives the users the right to do things with protected assets. So there are things in there like selective disclosure and zero knowledge proof. So basically, the certification in here is different from X509 certificates, where you always need to present the entire certificate for validation, otherwise you can't validate. Here you can present snippets, portions of the certificate for validation, so you don't have to give away all the information of the certificate if only one particular credential is necessary. Click. So, use cases. The first use case is using a trusted asset. So basically, here is a snapshot of a stack catalog. So actually, I didn't tell that, right? The immutable catalog has a stack API. So if you have a stack browser, you can go to the blockchain and search for your assets, and you can see it. And there you see a metadata for a geo package generated from a Sense of Things API service. So now you found that, and you wonder, okay, is that a genuine asset? Well, you can do that because there are hashes. So the immutable catalog, one of the metadata items is the hash of the file. So once you have downloaded the file and you wonder, what in my download folder is this? Has it been modified? Is this genuine? You generate the hash, you go to the immutable catalog, you search for the hash, and boom, you find the record, then you know it's authentic. That is the one produced by the issuer. So next slide, please. So now you want to download that. So what you need basically is you need to go to the catalog, you see information about where to get a certificate from, and so you follow the process and the description to the left there, so how to download the assets, and then you can get it. Click. So, direct access. Here you can see if you go and you want to download it without having any certificates in place, the service is going to say, oh, no, wait, you need certificate, either that one or that one. So particular asset download or individual or multiple assets download. So here in this individual asset, you see there is an entry. I know what that represents, you don't, but that's the hash of the file. So if you have a certificate for an individual download, then this hash needs to fit. That gives you access to one particular asset. This one here is all assets on one machine, and it's called audience. So there's an audience restriction. If I give you a certificate of this type, and the audience is asset controller, then you can download all the assets that are on this particular server. Next, please. So now imagine workflow. You have a sensitive asset that you can't access. You are not allowed to download that. But you want another trusted service to process that asset for you. But you can't access it. So you need another trusted service to work on your behalf and do something and give me something. So this is use case number 2. So as you can see, you need, again, these certificates, but the user doesn't have that. But there is another service out there that is entitled to process these assets, and they give you something. So here is a simple service that gives the statistics of the geo package. So basically, how many features of interest are there, how many observations are in it, etc., etc. So just as an example of how to use facts by a user in a workflow where the user cannot access the original sensitive data, but can see the process data from a trusted service. Next, please. Oh, yeah, right. Yes, cool. Okay, number 3. Let's say sensitive data, we need to know who you are. Otherwise, you can't download the data. It's that simple, right? Sensitive data, we just need to know who you are, and then you can download the data. So identity certificates is the third type of certificates that are that were created for this proof of concept. So And in addition, this identity certificate is bundled with a Sensor Things API service. So in order to execute this Sensor Things API service that is producing sensitive, that is giving you sensitive air quality data, you need to fetch an identity certificate. If you have that, then you can execute this service. Next, please. Ah, yeah, right, and go back one. And this is here, this is a plugin to a Frost server Sensor Things API service. So this tells you, this is the about page, the info page. This tells you what you need in order to execute the service. And here are the different identity certificate types listed. And if you are familiar with OpenID, then you can see no identity, there's an anonymous certificate. If you just authenticate it, then there is one profile, OpenID, so you just have a number, profile, and email. So depending on what sensitive data you are downloading, the service is going to say, oh, for this particular stuff, I need an identity profile, I need to know who you are. Or I need an email, or whatever, right? Okay, next, please. So number 4, uploading of data into this particular instance of the Sensor Sync service. Well, in citizen science, everyone can upload cheap data. And so another use case is you can only upload if you have a high quality sensor upload certificate. You get that from the producer of your sensor board, FabLab in our project, for example. So if I want to use my little sensor board and upload into this particular instance, I need a upload certificate. I get that from FabLab. So I need to go, FabLab, give me a certificate. They say, show me your sensor board. Oh yeah, all right, here you have it. Then you can upload. Next, please. So proof of concept. Yes, there is stuff out there. You can hit it. It's available. I don't. John will. Thank you. Click.
In order to understand this, you need to understand 2 things. Stack catalog. Stack catalog is based on OGC API. So if I use OGC API, it will work. So for me, this is an OGC API and that's it. Second thing, and now you know the answer, GeoPackage. Do you know what the GeoPackage is? It's a database full of tables. Great, that's for me. So let's go for it very, very quickly. Okay, so what is the API collections? Let's look at the immutable catalog. The immutable catalog has 2 instances. The second one is about services. The first one is about the data. Let's see what this catalog gives me. A couple of geo packages, as you can see here. This is the secure link. This link is open. This is the one that we are demonstrating. So once I do the click, this is my wallet. I have a wallet here. I need to select which is the connection. But the important thing here is not the connection. The important thing here is that I have a certificate. I have a certificate that allows me to actually download. This is one of the download everything certificates that Andreas was talking about. So going back to the, well, I have spoiled that now, so let me do it again. I need to select the actual connection, and immediately I get access to my geo package. It has been identified as the resource that this is a geo package, and I can go to the observations because it's a geo package that represents the content of a Sensor Thing API. Sorry for that, that's a little bit confusing, but that is it. No, and I don't know what I have asked now. This is the representation of those observations inside the geo package. So as you can see, we used my certificate in the wallet to actually ask that. If I go to my wallet and I destroy that certificate, then I will not be able to do the geo package.
Ah, all right, takeaway. Oh, you can take that for later. You can next door. Click, and thank you. Right.